Watch what? I'm gonna get mine. Go to the ground if you can't do the time. Don't tell me how you're off and down. When you're smiling in my face, but you play me like a clown. It's your fool, bitch. So just step back. Or I'm mad that when I come down straight. I thought you were my piece, but you play me out. Now I'm mad as hell, and I'm full of doubt. Who you wanna roll with? Who you wanna roll with? Let's think. Let's roll. Who you wanna roll with? Who you wanna roll with? Let's think. Let's roll. I'm back on the scene, it's time to get mean. I'm a lean, revolution machine. For what people stay, they sway. For today is good as any day. Y'all feel slightly this, let's resist. Raise your fist and pump like this. Promises all the time. Don't cross the line, but you know it's right. Who you wanna roll with? Who you wanna roll with? Let's think. Let's roll. Who you wanna roll with? Who you wanna roll with? Let's think. Let's roll. Who you wanna roll with? Who you wanna roll with? Let's think. Let's roll. Who you wanna roll with? Who you wanna roll with? Let's think. Let's roll.
Double five. Get something in your rigger. 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 Double five. Get something in your rigger.
Brooklyn! Who you wanna roll with? Who you wanna roll with? Let's see. Let's roll. Who you wanna roll with? Who you wanna roll with? Let's see. Let's roll. Who you wanna roll with? 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 Who you wanna roll with?
So there we go. Okay, we're having technical difficulties already, and I'm by myself, so I have to do this all by myself. I don't have a co-host here, so sorry you have to listen to dead air while I fix the problems I'm having. Sorry. You know what I could do, though? I could play the crazy video from Dover. That was pretty nuts the other day, yesterday. Let's see. Can we get that up here? Yeah, I saw that LRAM went to Dover, and it was very interesting what happened. They actually didn't let LRAM speak because she was wearing a hold
I'm worried about this smoking ordinance. I'm a medical cannabis patient in New Jersey. I want to know how it's going to affect patients in New Jersey. Can you pay attention to what I'm saying? He's ignoring me.
Sorry, I'm going to interrupt you. So, we previously addressed the issue at the meeting. And I'm going to ask that you please.
What is with this horrible connection today here?
If I remove my burqa,
All right, this connection sucks.
I will be stoned. And not New Jersey stoned, Middle Eastern stoned. This is my religious wear that I cannot take off under penalty of God. Why would you make a Muslim person take off their Why would you even suggest such a thing? Are you racist? Tell me that again. Tell me again what you just said. Say it on camera.
Sir, I'm going to ask you to lower your voice, please. The attorney made a comment.
I said my name is El Ram, E-L-R-A-M, El Ram.
Excuse me, sir.
I am not a sir, I'm El Ram. How dare you misgender me?
Let me explain something to you. This is a meeting of order, and you're going to follow the order, or you're going to find yourself removed.
You're going to remove me
Excuse me, sir,
for this burqa.
I'm giving you your first warning. I am asking you to let the attorney voice his legal opinion. After he voices his legal opinion, as the chair of this meeting, I will make my decision what I'm going to do. But I'm asking you to please allow the attorney to voice his legal opinion. Ramon, would you please continue?
Yes, Mayor. Several meetings ago, we addressed the issue of wearing masks while you deliver your public comment. It was my opinion, and I advised the public that it was not appropriate. We would not allow it, and we required the individual to take his mask off if he were to deliver public comment. This appears to be the same thing to me, and I don't know who this person is that's wearing this, but we ask that you identify yourself by your name as well. And if you don't want to do that, we do ask that you take your mask off or face covering when you're delivering public comment, so we know who you are for accountability purposes around what you're saying through our public system. That was the advice I gave back then, and
Okay, so this is ridiculous. Dover really crapped the bed the other night. If you wear a burqa to a council meeting in Dover, you are going to lose your constitutional right to speak. That is Islamophobia. That is racism. And it goes right hand in hand with the ableism and the sexism that we've seen from the mayor, calling the previous African-American woman mayor a C, a P, and an N. Then he misgenders Elram, tries to make some connection between Elram and me. But as far as anyone knows, it could be anybody under that burqa. So how would you even know? Anybody could be under there. So yeah, they really crapped the bed in Dover. And now the videos are all going out there. And we're going to talk about Islamophobia and anti-Semitism, because all that crap can stay overseas. We never had that crap here. We never had any of this stuff here before. And now all of a sudden we're seeing more of it and more of it. We don't need that here. We are a big melting pot. We're good at melting pot, but we are also a melting pot. See what I did there? So yes, New Jersey is a melting pot. And that means all religions, all creeds, all people come here to get along, to have a good life. We don't have a lot of the issues that they have overseas. So don't bring those issues here. We don't want them here. We don't want any anti-Semitism or Islamophobia here in our society. There's no place for that here. So I'm happy that Elram exposed Mayor Dodd and his racism and his ignorance. And also with the attorney, Ramon. How does he not know the law? So instead of letting Elram speak for 3 minutes, they decided to shut the whole meeting down for an hour, cause a bunch of ruckus, create YouTube content, which is not good, positive for them at all, because of Dodd's ego. All because of Dodd's big ego. And the fact that we got you. And he doesn't like when we got you. He doesn't like that. He doesn't like when someone gets him. But it's like, Dodd, I was like, Mayor, your shoe's untied. Ha ha, made you look. That's how easy it was. That's how easy it was for you to fall in that trap, because we all knew that if Elram went up there in her burqa, that you would not let her speak. We all knew that. We just had to make it happen. And it happened. And now you're exposed. Now you've been exposed for the Islamophobist that you are, and the racist that you are, and the sexist that you are, because all the other stuff is going to come to bite you in the ass now. All the other stuff that you've done to this town, to this county, is coming back to bite you in the ass now. It's about time. This town's been suffering because of you for many years before, and now we start again. And all he does is try to blame the last administration. That's all he tries to do. It's really sad. What's going on here? What's going on here? Are you in the wrong? Oh boy, hold on. Let me see. Are you in the wrong room? I'll find out. Did I give everybody the wrong address? Shoot. Maybe I'm the wrong one today. Maybe I'm wrong. I could be wrong. Oh God. Sue, where are you? Sue. Oh my God. Sue! Where are you? Sue, I'm sending you the link. It's supposed to be the same link. I don't know why the link is different. It looks like the same link that we always use. Yeah, so it's the same link we always use. I'm here. Hold on. I'm going to try to see if I can send you the link here. Hold on. Hold on. Oh boy. Sue, check your email. Check your Facebook. It's so hard to do this without a co-host, because I'm sitting here doing stuff and there's dead air and there's just like me going da 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 da. Just great radio. Great radio. Hey, how you doing? What's going on, man? Come on in. What's that? Oh, first time here? Oh, okay. Yeah, we have events here now. We have events. We're having a puff and paint on Saturday. We paint and smoke, and then Sunday is cannabis-friendly church. We're having cannabis church on Sunday. We're going to smoke weed and praise the Lord. So come Sunday morning, we're going to smoke weed. Oh, it's too far for you.
3 hours.
Where are you from?
Yes.
What, you from far away?
Yeah, from here, but original I'm from Europe.
Oh, Europe. Oh, okay. Okay. But yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, you got it, man. Sue, I think we're in the same. Sue, I think we're in the same link. We're always in. Hold on. Hold on. I'm sending you this. Maybe I have to send it to Jim as well, because maybe have I been sending the wrong link out? Oh my goodness. Is that why Jim wasn't on the other day? Oh boy. Jim Miller. I'm sure it's the same link we always use, but maybe not. Okay, I'll check.
Oh, but jump on. Yeah, it's the same one. Always put me on. There you are.
Did I send the wrong link?
With Jim.
Did I send the wrong link?
No, that's the right link. That's the same link you've been using since
For
I've been
for
with
months. Yeah. Okay.
you. All right.
I
We're
was-
good. Okay, Jim's jumping on now.
He couldn't get on.
He just, you know what? Lefty just listen to me, listen to me for 1 second. Lefty just sent a new message with the link, but it's the same link. Yeah, so you should, yeah, you could see it. Okay, all right, see you in a minute. Bye.
So wait, what happened?
With what?
I sent the link.
Yeah,
It was the same link.
yeah.
It didn't work though.
I don't know why. I did it twice.
I don't know either. You did it twice?
And that's what I just said to Jim. I said, Lefty just sent the same exact link. I don't know. Maybe Jim forgot to hit enter studio. That could be, right?
It could be the wrong link. It could be. I don't know.
No, it's the right link. It's exactly the same link.
Yeah, somebody just walked in. He says, I'm from 3 hours away. I'm like, what do you mean?
Is that Wolf?
I don't know what he was talking about. No, he just came in here looking
Oh,
for
somebody walked in.
looking for some action. I said, we're having church on Sunday. Come back here for church on Sunday.
You didn't tell him you're off the clock right now.
I love telling people to come to church on Sunday. When they come here for one thing and I tell them another. But no, I'm here for this. I'm here to do it. No. We're here for church now. We're doing church now. But no, I go in it. No, none of that. None of that. Put it away. Back in the box. Put it back in the box.
Back in the box. Now listen, because you only told me an hour ago, can Wolf come on at 4:30? I did send him a message. Okay.
Okay. I have to leave at 6 no matter what. So it is what it is.
Yeah. So whatever, if he jumps on, he's not here yet. So I don't know. But that other guy, Michael, he's going to do next week. So that'll be okay. There's Jim.
Jim Miller.
There he is.
Yay.
Hey.
We're here.
Hey.
So it might be just the three of us then.
Just
Because Lefty asked me a half hour ago to ask Wolf if he could come on at 4:30. So of course I said, yeah, sure. I don't know if you got my message. I look at my messages whenever.
I'm just smiling.
I'm just smoking.
Jim was laughing at me before and he didn't want me to know. So he was hiding, even though I couldn't see him on the screen. He was hiding.
When you don't want to laugh because it could be at the inappropriate time, but I don't know what the statute of limitations is on such a laugh. And so it got out.
There's no statute of limitations.
Yeah. Well, I've had that problem before where okay, you're drifting in a boat, you're going towards the shoals. Somebody says, give me an anchor, quick. And somebody takes the anchor out of where it is, and it's got no rope on it. It goes, tie a rope on. So guy's tying on quick as he can, and he does. He gives the guy the anchor, he throws it overboard, and 6 feet of rope go with it.
I've done that.
It was the end of a 6-foot rope. The guy didn't specify tie it around the anchor and make sure it's long enough or anything, And
okay, so listen, I had a similar anchor story. So we have a pontoon.
Okay.
We have a pontoon boat on Greenwood Lake, right? So I was there one day with some of my girlfriends, and the boat conked out. So we were right in front of where the Jersey housewives have the big house there, and I was right in front of there. So the guy that was tending their lawn or whatever, he said to me, throw the anchor out. He said, and I will be able to pull you in that way. So I said, okay. So I threw the anchor out. But I didn't tie it to anything.
That was exactly the same thing, except for, it was non-tied. If this guy had tied it, it would have hung itself over and not reached the water because he only had 6 feet. But the thing is we were very stoned, and the guy that did it just looked at it going out of his hands and went, the other guy's hands went, my hands are greasy, and that's when I lost it. Oh, and oddly enough, the guy that did that jumped over and actually found it with his feet. It wasn't, we're getting in shallow water. It was in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you call it? Homeland Security was at the dock when we finally got in because we were making a lot of noise and shit, and it was real near Cocoa Beach.
They were going to deport you to Cuba?
Well, no, it was at Cocoa Beach, like in the Indian River, double estuary. So basically, because it was near Cape Canaveral, like 5 miles away, it's all Homeland Security. No, he was just on the dock when we finally got in, and he didn't fit in. He was sit there, he didn't fit in. And the guy on the boat looks at him. What? Homeland Security?
Oh, look at Wayne. Wayne's leaving messages. Hi, Wayne. I haven't seen you in years.
We still can't see him.
Yeah, I don't see him.
I'm from here, but 3 hours for me. Okay. Yeah, we know you're from here.
Now, somebody walked in here before and said that, and I didn't understand what he meant.
And it wasn't Wayne?
Really?
He's like, first time here. I'm
Oh.
like, oh, hi, how are you? Where are you from? 3 hours away. But from here.
Oh,
But I'm from here. Oh,
Okay.
Okay.
You
What do you
say
do?
that you say that while I become confused. You both went, oh, okay. At the same time, I'm going, huh? So
What you here looking for?
Okay, so far this week, I have blocked 2 people that are on your list of friends.
Who else?
Okay.
Who else?
Now, you're recording now, right? I can't say it now.
Oh, okay. Text me.
I'll text you.
I know
Okay.
the one. I don't know the other.
let's make it a guessing game for anybody who might be watching live.
Jim knows.
Was it Mayor Dodd?
Because I bitched to Jim about it.
Did you block Mayor Dodd?
Nah.
Hey, Sue, remember when I couldn't laugh at you because I was here? I can do that. I can do
'Cause
that
you were there,
anytime. I can do it anytime I want.
hmm I just
Oh,
sent
yeah.
you a text. Lefty, I just sent you a text.
Oh, come on. Really?
I had to.
Why?
Okay, now how are you going to do that?
Because it really was out of control. It was becoming 24/7 that I was
Okay,
getting
everybody,
messages.
Let's see if we can hear somebody say he or she, and we'll have our first clue.
You know who I'm talking about.
I know. I'm talking to any audience there might be.
No, you know.
No, we may have a clue coming up, so we'll see.
All right, I'll send you a clue too.
No, I don't want a clue.
He used to play guitar.
He did?
No, not him personally. The real one.
The real one.
play the
The
guitar.
real Buckethead.
Looks like I picked a questionable day to do my second microdose. Damn it. That's not a joke either. I'm just saying. It's micro. I've had macro. You know.
Okay, I sent you a message. Jim.
Who, me? Oh, that was, yeah. Okay, I heard it.
You know this already. You already know.
Oh, okay. Well, then I'm not looking at it then.
Yeah, well, I can't say it out loud.
Well, if I know who it is, I don't need you to say it out loud. I get the clues just. Okay, I'm going to look.
You kind of did say it.
Yeah, I kind of did.
I kind of missed that too. This is like weird. This is like not synchronized. You know, there's no sprockets in the right place right now with us. Okay, what was I going to do?
It's very cryptic and vague.
You know, I think next week, I have one of those gongs. We could do like a gong show. We could call it the.
Can I be Chuck Barris? Come out and
You can be whoever you want to be.
do that dance he does. You know,
Mhm. If you
Lefty
could
can
do that-
be Lefty can be Lean Gene, the dancing machine.
Yes, and I
You-
can be who?
The person with the gong.
The gong. Yeah, I'm gonna hit the gong.
Yeah. Let's say what you're saying. Lefty might have got gonged already.
He might have.
Did you ever see Pee Wee Herman on the Gong Show?
No.
He
Nah.
was on there like 3 or 4 times. He's really
Was
good. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that was a good show. I thought it was funny.
And I used to run home just to watch that
Yeah.
show.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Match Game. I used to watch Match Game.
Yeah.
No, I didn't watch that.
No.
I was
Yeah,
probably
that's
working.
Really? I like the microphone he had that he invented. Gene Rayburn. He invented that long, skinny microphone.
Hollywood Squares. Something about Gene Rayburn didn't quite sit right with me. I don't know if he was Canadian and felt the need to mention it all the time.
Yeah. A lot of
Hollywood
people are mentioning where they're from now.
Yeah.
Paul Lynde was the funniest.
He was hilarious. He was really, really good. You never knew exactly
Who he was.
what would come out, but he was good.
Hold on. Sorry.
That means we have to pay attention now.
They have a gong. I forget what dealership it is that Kathy got a vehicle at, but there was a gong there.
Yeah.
And, where all the closer tables were. And when they
Yeah.
closed the deal, of course, I said,
Oh,
so
they hit
what, we get the gong now? And he went, yeah. Like he didn't want, it was there.
So did you got it?
Oh, that was Kathy bought it. But I said, man, give it a rip,
Mm-hmm.
And you shouldn't hold back. Like she was watching some Chinese movie with a gong somewhere in the last month and really wound up and hit it, and it was indoors. I mean, it was like probably one of the best gongs ever. They didn't appreciate it near as much as I did. I felt like a follow.
The gong.
Yeah. You call that a gong? I could have grabbed it from her out there to stop me, though.
So I guess Wolf didn't get my my message. Let me see. He didn't answer me.
No.
The other Michael said awesome for next week.
Well, it'll be what. Okay, you already said that. It is what it is. It'll be what it will be,
Yeah.
and then it was what it was. When it's
Lefty's
all-
fault.
Well, see, at the other end of it is what it is it was what it was, and then it's over.
Mhm. It's all done.
Yeah.
No more. Where you gotta go so early, Lefty? Where you going?
Church.
Yeah, right.
I think I'm kidding.
You're really going to church tonight?
Yes, there's a special meeting of the production and worship crew. It's a
Oh,
yearly. It's a yearly. It's a
oh.
yearly meeting. They have dinner, and then they're going to jam for us for a while. It's a little
Okay.
intimate, little personal thing. It's cool. I like it, so I'm going.
Yeah. Lefty
Very
don't joke about church.
No, I know you don't.
So what about your thing at Mad Hatter? Is it going to happen?
It's happening
Is it?
Sunday. Stop down at Mad Hatter.
Yeah.
Going to have cannabis-friendly church, and we might have a sponsor. Somebody here giving out pre-rolls.
Yeah.
That may happen. So
I'm not. I'll tell you. I'm trying to work it out so I can do the 12:30. You got a 10:30 and a 12:30. And like we're saying, I maybe if I can.
Hold on.
Something else I have to do. But
They got rid of a lot of the toys here, but they're having events here now. They're having a cannabis-friendly church on Sunday. Sunday, we're having church. And then Saturday night is puff and paint. They're having painting pictures, and you can smoke weed and paint pictures. But cannabis church, you don't want to miss cannabis church. That's going to be, Sunday.
Okay, what time?
10:30 and 12:30. Two
What
services.
town is this?
You got it.
That place next door.
non-denominational.
Non-denominational. That's a dispensary, cannabis dispensary.
Okay.
Yeah, and this is just events now. We have events here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotta keep that in mind.
Yes.
Thank you.
Come back Sunday. Thank you.
Definitely.
That's in Avenel, right?
Avenel.
Yeah.
Yep, at the old adult bookstore.
It's
Okay.
pretty. It's pretty.
I have no idea where that is.
A lot of people seem to know it, and so I just
Yeah.
What, the adult bookstore?
you mentioned that they're like, oh, I know where that is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I can't say. I won't even rate the chances, but it's certainly somehow doable that could coincide with when I normally get to Tom's River anyway. And it's I use Turnpike from here, so it's as easy a drive as there is. It's more a matter of the waiting for the transmission to break. And it's
What exit is Avenel?
Off the Parkway, it's like 1:30.
Oh, that's not that far from me.
Yeah, not really. I was, the reason I would go is you understand that I would be there metaphorically. I could enjoy everything being said as a metaphor, and you know that. But it doesn't mean that I don't like the metaphors, and it doesn't mean I don't learn from metaphors. Because generally, it's all good stuff. It's stuff that if more people were on that wavelength, it'd be a better fucking world. It would. And for the most part, but you know how I am. God made me real smart.
He did.
He did.
You're one of the smartest people I know.
I say that as a metaphor, and meaning smart enough to be able to learn from a metaphor and take advantage of that when you can, which falls under this. Plus, I would like to support Lefty directly with giving this a go. I think it's a good thing in the end. So, for that, it will be worth the trip. Should I be able to make it? That's all I'm going to say. Because,
Yes, we do know. You know what? And I do happen to tell people that Jim Miller is one of the smartest people I know.
Wow. You said that with a straight face, knowing you were on camera.
I did, and I meant it.
Well, you know what? I appreciate that. I do.
No, I really do feel like that, and Lefty's the other smartest person I know.
Well, you know how small the group is of people with that. It's a small club, and I'm glad you're in it. Though.
Of smart people.
Yeah, well, you know how I feel about you. You're the dose of reality people need. You are the opposite of a bobbing head doll. You are the opposite of a sycophant. I don't even know. I've never used that word before. I think I made it fan. Yeah, like elephant.
Isn't that like a demon?
It's somebody that just blindly follows somebody and repeats repeats that. And there's a lot of that shit going on. And echo chambers work after people get beat down. Echo chambers work in concentration camps, are crying out loud,
Yeah, I know.
Or maybe it's the Patty Hearst syndrome or whatever that was called,
It is Stockholm syndrome?
Yeah, right.
Is that what it was?
Maybe it's some weird political Stockholm syndrome, where you can't get out. And all of a sudden you just
like the Hotel California?
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly.
There we go.
Yeah, maybe it's that.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. Wow. I got a whole re-listen to that now.
What, Hotel California?
Well, yeah, with a new, direction. Like
with a new, with a new,
I got to say, not for nothing, but I watched something. I did something I didn't think could be done. I watched a 22-minute and 46-second thing without looking down at the timer and watched the whole thing. I gave it a chance, and it was so healing to me. Gary Sinise talking, about his son, really amazing guy.
I saw something like
Hey, how are you?
by me about that.
Yeah, listen, I watched it. I challenged myself. Well, come on, it was microdose day. I was all by myself, and I found myself just looking at it and feeling it out.
Mm-hmm.
And I got a lot out of it. The weirdest thing happened at the end is it's like the lowest kind of music you might find in a supermarket where there's people talking. You kind of hear it, but you don't almost,
Mm-hmm.
And it was, I thought, did I hear it? And I listened, is that Pachel and Canon D and Canon in D? It's the basis for so many songs, you wouldn't believe it. Well, and because I've been loving that on the keyboard. It's like good exercise and my hands play together well. And I feel it when I'm playing it even. But then when I heard that at the end of that, it was like, whoa, come on. Out of all the gin joints and all the songs that could have been playing in the whole world, I had to step into this one,
Mm-hmm.
I forget, that was a really aborted reference to Humphrey Bogart or something. I don't remember.
Oh, okay.
But it was, so anyway, I saved it it's almost, I felt like a challenge, nobody can do that anymore, and I realized that if I wanted to look down and see how much time was left in it, I wouldn't be watching. And then I realized I could stop for like 10, 12, 15 seconds just to kind of let shit sink in when I felt like I was running behind, like if I was a translator and I was losing ground, you could stop somebody from fucking talking and catch up with the translation, kind of like that, but in my own mind for assimilating it properly. And that really worked wonders, and I finished it out, and oh man, it's just like, it's a great story. I mean, it should be a movie. Or it was
I think I'm gonna listen to that because it catch my eye.
I'll send you a link.
Okay.
Yeah, you
That
just
would be good.
click right. Yeah, because you probably could. I mean, if you knew you wanted to do it and got in the right frame of mind, it was really good, And I think anybody would benefit in whatever way they might. With me, it wasn't exactly a parallel thing, but what I was left with at the end, the rest of the family and wife and other people and all these people to carry on with, something. And in my own parallel, it was exactly the opposite. It wasn't anything people could help me carry on with, with my separation from Cheryl, and
I understand.
yeah, it's still, weirdly enough, made me feel happy for the fortunate nature of that. And because Gary, he's a straight shooting cool guy,
Yeah, he is.
And the fact that he was Lieutenant Dan and then spent so much of his time after that doing everything he could for veterans and visiting them where they are and all this stuff. I mean, just like, it was like storybook. And then to add to it, like a Greek tragedy, was everything that went along. And it wasn't just his son. I mean, without spoiling a plot, his father had a stroke, and he spent pretty much every day with him for 30 days of whatever time in the hospital. To have a wife have breast cancer, stage 3, and deal with that, and then to go right to the prognosis for his.
Do you understand? Do you understand the thing about staging?
Yeah, it's just I do a little bit, but refine it for me.
Okay, so regardless of when you get diagnosed, okay, so that they do PET scans and whatnot, just so they could stage you and see what, how much this disease has progressed, the cancer has progressed, right? So they stage you at, not so bad, stage 1, 2, 3, it doesn't matter. But you can go into remission, right? And that does not kick you back to stage 1.
Right.
You will always be that stage 3 or stage 4,
I didn't know that.
Without any,
But that makes sense.
Right.
That adds up.
But a lot of people get confused by that, and
no, I can see why.
I guess I understand why, because people tend to think that, they're in remission, well, okay, so that means they got, they're back to the front of the line now again,
I'm following this with Brother Rick's prostate cancer, recent diagnosis, like 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago.
He got diagnosed with prostate? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. But he's already
prostate
he's dealing with melanoma and not melanoma. That and I forget which kind of lymphoma, but it wasn't like, I think it was not the lesser of the two.
Okay.
The two kinds, but that he would be, they were talking not like in stages as much as it was like almost like divided in thirds. You're in the middle zone, but
because they will grade you too.
Yeah, a little more above half. I'd like a gas gauge or something. That you could relate to. So I mean, it's. He's under under good care of specifically made RSO oil that even has, it's all from a known kind of cannabis. So one leans a little more towards morning and one leans more sativa towards the evening dose, if he's going twice a day.
I have a whole box full of syringes of Rick Simpson oil if you need it.
Really?
Yeah, really.
Wow. Yeah. Well, as it is, this is by donation, and I don't say things over, more than that. I mean, I would, but the recording nature of it all. And
Wait, are you saying you use marijuana, not cannabis? Oh my goodness.
did I say marijuana?
Why? It sounds like you're saying marijuana, not cannabis. They just passed a law today. They put a bill.
Oh, it's a lead-in. Good.
They put a bill in today to make marijuana illegal again.
I saw that.
Yeah, you're imitating me. That's how I do
And
shit.
look who was there. And Leroy Truth was there today. Leroy, did you get to see them pass the bill that's going to put black and brown people back in jail for cannabis?
Yep. And they had no idea what they were doing. They didn't even know what the laws were. They're talking about it. They passed the freaking laws before they didn't even know. Is it illegal to sell on the street? A certain amount, how much? I don't know. It was like kangaroo court. The Three Stooges held Senate hearing, and Stack got so upset. I was there. He bailed. He left. He left the hearing.
It wasn't a vote though, right? It was just a hearing.
I thought they voted at one point.
Yeah, it was billed, I thought, as a information only. It didn't say informational hearing. Yeah, they didn't call it that though. So, whatever source when I read it, if it was going to be a vote, I would have been there. But for the information, it's more for the vote. I would show up to be part of a head count, but
right.
I was as otherwise engaged as it is. That would have been the worst place.
Was there public testimony?
No.
No, they wouldn't let the public talk about those bills.
Yeah, I heard that. I knew there would be no public testimony.
It's insane. Insane. I mean, it's so dirty, but you didn't know the rest of it. Vinny was assaulted by a New Jersey state trooper today.
Oh no.
And she told him he couldn't record in a public area. We got separated at one point. And then the New Jersey state troopers physically, aggressively pushed me out of a building today.
Really?
No reason. No
Yeah,
reason.
you smiled a little in, right?
Wow.
No, I mean I'm just saying that, like, damn, they shouldn't have done that. Yeah, I never know how to react.
Cha-ching, cha-ching.
Yeah, okay, if I was smart, I'd do this.
Then he can laugh.
Then you can smile and laugh.
That's how
Well,
Jim laughs.
I know how I
Blanks
feel.
himself.
I know how I feel when something happens that I don't like, but I know looks so bad that some good's going to come from it, maybe, and it's going to change other people's minds more the direction we'd like to change it. So that's an effective result. So
Yeah, these are all positive. These are all positive.
Yeah, I think for what you're
negative
doing,
for them.
yeah.
Negative for
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I mean, I react different from my better half here. Yeah, I don't have to say that. She's not here. Yeah. I feel because we'll hear the same news on a newscast and she'll be like, oh, and I'll be like, yeah. And it's the same thing. And we feel the same way about it, but we react totally different. Because I know it's going to swing the meter a little direction we want,
Okay.
So, yeah, all news is not good. Even people, even bad news is good. Not when it becomes.
Did you hear
echo.
Tom Hanks' testimony yesterday?
Where'd Leroy go? Leroy.
Leroy, we lost you.
back?
There you are. What
Hey,
happened?
Leroy Truth.
All right. I hit a wrong button. I was trying to make the screen bigger.
Leroy Truth. Leroy Truth. Leroy Truth.
So yeah,
Did you hear Tom Hanks' testimony yesterday? He testified at Diddy's trial.
No, I didn't hear about that.
Surprise. He was a surprise when he
no.
walked in.
What did he say?
It wasn't good what he said. It just wasn't good.
He attended a Diddy party and didn't like it. Basically.
Something like that. Yeah.
Look, I saw his face
Same.
at the Golden Globes when Ricky Gervais was like, I don't care, and he was like ripping people left and right, and it wasn't Tom Hanks, but when it was people in his circle, he kept going, and
he
this
was,
stuff.
he was making
this
some,
was
some very negative faces, Tom Hanks.
yeah.
You know?
But what I'm saying is what he was making faces at would pale in comparison to what he might have to say about Diddy, I can
He
only
was
imagine.
very careful what he said.
Smart.
It was shocking to see him be there. No one, that the prosecution had him pretty well hidden from guys like Leroy. Sorry, Leroy.
That's a
But
compliment.
he did implicate himself in the whole thing, and he looked scared.
He did or he did
looked-
not?
He did. He implicated himself.
Oh,
Very
no way.
he did it very judiciously. He just talked about that they became kind of like friends, and he kind of like alluded to the benefits and then the non-benefits, and then when he started to get afraid of the whole thing and moved away from it, but he had testimony that was pretty interesting.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I can't say that much on here because we're recording.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So Leroy, what happened in Trenton today? Anything else happened in Trenton that was insane?
Something really, really funny. And now, insane me getting physically assaulted and getting pushed out, Vinny getting assaulted, a female lieutenant out of her freaking mind with anger management problems, twisted his camera, assaulted his camera, started twisting it on the tripod, and we were separate at that point, different places. And then the funniest thing, crazy, stupid funny, is I asked the sergeant of arms, one of the sergeants of arms who was there last time, he's 140 years old, about, can we be over there? No, you can't be there. You have to be pressed. We are pressed. No, you got to have a press pass. So this is crazy. This is funny as hell. So then Vinny asked, well, where do we get a press pass? Sergeant at arms, you go to security, and then they can give you a press pass. He goes there, comes back, says, Leroy, that was like crazy. What went on there? They didn't give him a press pass. In the meantime, Full Court Press is listening and watching my live stream, and he sends him a made-up press pass, Vinny. So then Vinny shows me, and then he asked me, should I show should he show the sergeant at arms? Yeah, show it. He shows the sergeant at arms. He said, now that was easy, right? Go right over there.
Oh, wow.
And he's in the press pit area.
Amazing.
It was so funny. He said, well, did your employer make that for you? Yes. Oh my God. It's so funny. But at first, Vinny said, well, can I just make one up on my computer? That's before he had Full Court Presses. And the sergeant at arms guy says, no, can't make it up on your computer. And then when Full Court Press, here it is. Okay, you just have to get it printed next time too, so everyone knows and you're good to go. And just wear it. You just made the shit up. That's one of the funniest things I've ever seen. Go, no, you're not pressed. Okay, you're pressed. It's something that it took 5 minutes for Full Court Press to create.
Well, the Three Stooges used to do that. They used to take the thing off the bathroom toilet that said press, and they would be like, here's my press pass. Press the toilet button. They used to have a white
yeah, that's funny.
day.
That's what it was like. So
Press.
anyway, I gotta make some more calls. I'm heading to Frank Shalari's meet and greet now, where it's almost weird when I go to the places who support me, like Frank Shalari and the work I do, and Tony Hector and Frank Alonso, that I don't get assaulted. It's like, because I get assaulted almost everywhere I go, except when I go to their meet and greets, or they're on the good team. So I'll go there and be like, hey, is someone go hands on any minute now? Oh, that's right. No, I'm in friendly territory now.
Hey, Leroy, can I ask you something before you go?
Yes.
What do you think of this new DEA guy, Terry Cole?
I don't know. You know what? I haven't followed it at all, so I don't even know. So because you asked me that question, I'm going to ask. I'm going to find out. Or
Yeah.
what
Yeah,
what do
see
you
what you-
say before we go? What do you know about it?
What I know is that he doesn't appear to be very cannabis friendly. His focus, he said, is going to be more on the fentanyl crisis, and that he really doesn't have any kind of like I don't know, attitude or suggestions or anything to that effect. He's got it. He pushed it to the back of the line where we knew it was anyway. So
Well,
he sounds like a douchebag, and I can say that.
yeah. And when are they going to get someone who needs? I mean, an 8-year-old will understand the drug war is a failure. No different than alcohol prohibition. You can't stop people, grown adults, from doing what they're going to choose to do with their bodies.
Right.
And now when I was at the Senate, last thing for now, when I was at the Senate hearing today, and I'm hearing President of the Senate, total scumbag, President of the Senate, Scutari, who I've called for probably a year now, to get Stack removed as the head of Judiciary Committee. He won't call me back. And he was saying, we have to stop illegal cannabis. You were putting people in prison for 20 freaking years for possession, a few years ago. And well, the thing is, it has to be safe. And if you regulate it, and we need to make sure that there's no other substances. Because if someone dies, that's going to be on us. It's going to be on us.
You got to make it safe, like alcohol.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What? I know. Thing is, if it doesn't make sense, it's because that's not their goal. Like the drug ending it or recognize that's not their goal. I think there's obviously something beneficial from their point of view in status quo, and so it makes sense in that respect. But I'm just surprised that there's anybody left willing to go that way.
No. I mean, they're strong that way.
Yeah.
Like, we can't have people selling that on the streets.
Well,
No,
some people
do
would
that. We
actually
need to make people safe.
How's it going?
Yeah. How's it going? I like that. How's it going?
I don't smoke pot myself, but
No, I mean, I'm not asking you. I'm saying my answer to them would be.
no, that's not my point.
That's a very
My point
noble
is,
goal.
you've been doing it for years.
My goal is for people to.
You've been doing
love
it for
one another.
years, and
Oh, broke up.
when it comes
You
to
froze.
marijuana, for example,
Yeah. Ooh.
you're still alive. You didn't go to some government-sponsored place, And so the government said, well, we're going to save pot smokers from things. And
Yeah. Well, I don't
sometimes
like,
it's,
especially that.
PCP, fentanyl, something else. But you know your sources.
Know your dealer, right?
What's that?
Know your dealer.
No.
You're breaking up.
Yeah, you're breaking up, Leroy.
Yeah, right. All right. I'm going to run. I got a bad cell place here. So God bless you all, and stay tuned. Much more to come. And I'm going to check out the DEA guy too. So thank you for.
Okay.
All right. Okay.
Thanks, Leroy.
Thanks, Leroy.
Leroy.
Okay.
Yeah, so another shit show down in Trenton. They made making weed illegal again,
Well,
so
thank
that black and brown people will be back in jail.
Yeah. No.
Well, like it's somebody would take issue with your phraseology, like,
Physiology. Did you just make
No,
that
the
up?
phraseology of that, because we know where you're coming from, but when you can remain right in the middle, just elucidating, is that a word? I'm
Yeah.
getting all these words popping into my head. I don't know where they're coming from.
Keep it
Anyway,
chewing on those mushrooms.
yeah, the thing is making it that somebody could be in like a convenience store, a Cumberland Farms little, where they sell pipes.
Right.
They've been selling pipes for a decade there,
Right.
And then you go in and they got some gummies. You get some gummies. It's not my fucking job to ask for to see his permit to be able to sell these. You know what I mean? I think I should be able to assume that it's legal. And if he's selling something and it's against the law, and then against me, the law for me to buy it, where I, as a patient, for example, would be trying to extend my month's supply that I cannot otherwise afford. Now what bothers me about this is, again, adult rights for cannabis and patient rights are blurred right back in together. It doesn't matter if I got a card and I say, well, look, I'm a patient, so this medicine for me, and it's what they consider recreation for everybody else. There needs to be a difference. It has to be clear for patients in that life, because patient rights are being taken away all the time with the lack of home grow, and the burden of proof never gets thrust upon the state to prove why our outlier status is warranted and what they've saved us from so far. None of this is going on, and there's so much going on, but nothing with outrage on that, on the behalf of patients, not from patients, from adults. And I'm getting fucking sick of it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I swore. Ring the bell. Ring the bell. Lefty, bell.
Ding.
Okay, I apologize.
Okay.
Take it back.
I don't know how to say it. Reverse.
Okay, listen. June 14th. June 14th, we are taking to the streets nationwide. Okay, no King's National Day of Mobilization.
Day of the week?
I believe it's a Saturday.
Yeah, that'd be a good day.
Yeah.
There's always a place to be, too.
So
PPP, Chris.
I registered in a, you want to register an event? Want to do an event down in
No, I'm going to stop by the closest one to where I am. I'll offer my head at a head count.
Okay.
I'll get a picture.
Okay.
It's just that I can work right in, and with me, it's really a matter of a head count, and I am the sign man, so
Yeah. I put myself in Rutherford because that's right behind me.
I still try to limit that in what I do publicly like this, only because it's the same reason we started the coalition for medical marijuana. Being part of NORML meant, well, you want it legal for everybody. Yes, but that's not the issue. But it became the issue. Every goddamn time I had anything to say about it, exploring those waters, because I was asked to by the board of NORML then. And then I realized right then, no. That's where I met Ken. And it's like, we need an organization where it's all about the medical aspects. No. Nothing else. And that really worked. It helped. So, basically, right now, there's so many other things involved in the mix. And I wrote about this, but I can't, it's basically where you won't be able to read it because it's a board thing with TMMJ, that we are growing and supporting a lot more than just medical cannabis. We had a obviously unanimous board vote when legalization was becoming, okay, we're going to try to legislate it. They got something going. Yes, totally support that too. So now the medical only disappeared with that. And I was a strong yes vote because, I miscalculated the sway in a different direction and how much it was. And then I had to add to that what I was writing, informing of, was that, and before anybody thinks anything, I'm doing this on a microdose. So, I support psilocybin therapy of anything. So don't be like, oh, Jim, you're all that just hung for pain. But it was really weird because I'm having a good microdose day up until that point. And then I realized how the irony that it'd be like, oh, Jim's, well, you know what? I like that the coalition does have Guy, who is a solid You want information on that? He is a go-to guy. That's all we need.
Mhm.
You know, the rest need to do a little more of what's your main interest. Mine? Oh, home grow. Big surprise, right? But then expungements is one board, you know, and this is awesome. However, it's sports. I can't be real particular about it anymore. I'm just in a period of disappointment, and I got to reevaluate lots of stuff. Oh,
Okay.
and between you, me, Lefty, and all the lampposts in the world, yeah, it looks like it's just growing closer to the beginning of July when the recess, New Jersey goes on recess, and everybody leaves Trenton to where they feel safe and secure back in their own districts, you know,
Mm-hmm.
in their own homes and stuff, and not going to Trenton, you know, where shit can hit the fan. Yeah, well, somehow our Senate president needs to know that it's not going to be the same stalling nature for the rest of this session, you know, not to depend on that. And the only way to do it, and I imagine there's going to be no rush to anybody to pass this around. You heard it here first. I'm going to have to I'm going to have to induct Nick Scutari into the Frank Pallone Hall of Shame.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, in other words, I have a history.
Mm-hmm.
And I tested the Patriot Act about showing up at somebody's house under certain circumstances, under, in this case, a federal Patriot Act, federal legislation. There was all sorts of laws that got, you know, being added to for safety reasons, and that always gives me pause for concern. So basically, I did find out through the Long Branch police when we engaged the evening before, and when I heard that they couldn't, I mean, they got calls, people couldn't see what I was there for, you know, a wheelchair with a big sign on it, you know, it was night. And I didn't have a flashlight on it. I mean, headlights would illuminate it, two-sided sign. But anyway, it was statute. He said they could fear for their life and property, and that certainly is a statutory talk. So I said, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to call for a ride, and I'll be picked up in about 20 minutes. It'll take. Tell me where I need to stand till then. And they did. And I said, but in the morning, I'll be coming back at 9 o'clock. There'll be mic for sound. There'll be video from across the street in the parking lot over there. And I'm going to resume when people can see what I'm doing here, if that's the reason that I'm leaving now. So make sure the morning crew knows a little bit about the Constitution. They don't have to read far. It's the first thing in the Bill of Rights, right at the beginning, you know. And yeah, the next day I had no trouble. They ignored me. So I would expect that would happen. But like I was telling Leroy, I win either way, right? I mean, no matter doing nothing, just me spending 2 hours standing there at a sign all by myself. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. That's a victory.
Yeah.
And that it will be photographed. It'll be maybe even videoed, maybe even live streamed. It depends, because I'd be all by myself on the other side of the street. But that's the plan. If there's no engagement to explain what his plan is, you know, like Lefty, who has he been talking with? How long ago did he said we've been talking about this? Actually,
we've been working on this problem, and we have a think tank working on this. And,
he never said who the we was, and that had to be at least a couple of years ago.
It was me, myself, and I, of course.
Well, what he's gonna do is bring out his more than 4-year-old plan that he made very clear on. It's Spotlight New Jersey with Brianna Venozzi. Nice video, so you can see it, you know, and I've transcribed it. And that's when he got tricked into, one person called in one question. It was about that. Holy crap, it was perfectly placed. And he couldn't get around it. So he said, well, you know, you've been talking to about a pilot program, a very strict pilot program, where only the sickest or the most hurt, the most
Only stage 3.5.
Would get it. A very narrow pilot program. So what that is when he can't say no, I'm not going to allow this bill to be heard anymore, and not tell you why. He's going to say it's not going to be heard because we're going to go with a pilot program instead. That's going to be the pivot. So that well has to be poisoned before he starts beating that gong, the pilot program at all. It's kind of, I'll be mentioning that pilot program in a challenging way. I'll be calling his office about it. In other words, I want it out there that how do you divide a line through a registered patient population, which has dwindled? It's a small population. Maybe 5% would grow. It's the pilot program should involve all registered patients. It's that simple. If they want to say it won't involve patients after we start the program, he would have a leg to stand on. And that would be bad as it is.
Mm-hmm.
But to try to cut a line through it, how many patients? And that's why I want to hear discussions between now and then with like what people individually see might happen, because you just got to think about it. And what I'm saying is going back to the perception of the stages, stage 1, 2, 3, 4. Listen, you only got stage 2 cancer. You're not allowed in the program, only stage 3s and 4s.
2.9.
Is that the dividing line for them? Okay, but what about the one who are in the most pain? What the hell is that? Okay, I want you to look at this chart and see the smiley face and the frowny face at the top and the numbers on 1 to 10. How much pain do you have? It's bullshit they do at the hospital. And like I would always say at the hospital, is see number 6 on 1 to 10? Yeah. See that expression? Yeah. That's my expression when I lose my keys. That's not pain. That's annoyance, So basically, patients would be in a pain competition, and you win for being in the most pain. How do you prove that? Holy crap. What else? What about Tourette's? I don't know. Does that even hurt? Yeah, what a stupid fucking question I have to ask. No, the dividing line is not a joke. It's a sick joke, and it is the most insult to injury I've ever heard of. So he should hear this shit coming, and go, wow, I'm going to look like a bigger piece of shit than I already look like if I bring this plan up. He needs to be forced into allowing a bill be heard, so that his colleagues actually have somewhere to go for proper information that's vetted as it happens real time in a committee meeting by people from both sides of the issue. It's not one side shows up. It's good for everybody. You got a point to make, you make it there. But Joe Vitelli's been known to say, that's not true, to people testifying. He's done that. He's the one you want to be able to do that. But that's why I got to suggest to my James Holsapfel representation. He's been against it all along. We've picketed his office with Cheryl how many times, and I'm going to challenge him to have the courage of his conviction and say to the opposition, majority party, big kahuna, yeah, I think you should put it up so I can vote against it, because I don't want to vote against something without having information in an informational hearing. So I'm going to vote against it if it comes up. I'll tell you that. But I want to make sure I'm right. And I want to be able to ask questions to the people coming and saying why it'd be good, whatever. He ain't going to bite, But then at least I have email to put up on letpatientsgrowNJ.com for the long-awaited bunch of email trails being posted. It's happening now. I mean, it's turning into June. It's going to be budget talk. They're going to hide behind that at least the last 2 weeks. But if I'm correct, like last year at least, they do have committee hearings when they're not in session. They come into session on certain days to have a quorum and vote on bills that need to be voted on. I mean, they don't stop doing that. And, just got to stay on top of that. But it's going to be a lot of nobody giving a shit about this. Not legislators, not other people. It's just, it needs something to put it in the public light, and I think I can do that in the beginning of July. So I'm gonna, piece of cake.
Okay.
So, yeah.
That sounds good.
Sounds necessary. The good part, like, you win one way, you win more the other, maybe. I don't know. It's like how they used to describe the people that lived in Long Beach Island, the people, the real haves, the people that have turn to the right when they get there. The have mores turn to the left, the haves and have nots, and they indicate one area is better than the other. Yeah, this is the chance. However, something like that works out, I win. And when I say I mean patients. How many is it going to be? 5,000 tops?
What?
I don't even know how many patients we got. 70,000, maybe less now. I don't know.
I don't know because it's legal.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but that meant if the program was for registered patients.
Yeah. So if this was to finally, go through this scheduling, the rescheduling, whatever the fuck they're going to do, and they sat down and they said, okay, Schedule 3, that sounds good. What does that do to the rest of the industry?
Oh, I don't know, but I'll bet we'd find out. And I know what it wouldn't do is it wouldn't halt or slow down certain things more on the research end. I have been, it's
no, the research will keep taking place.
But it may also accelerate.
Yeah.
And that would be a good thing. It's sort of this too. It's not like a cliff dive where you go all the way down. There's jumping points, like Schedule 3 happening would actually give cause to see why it should go further. In other words, Schedule 3 is like what's going to happen, okay? However long it takes to get any grip on how it's working out, should that happen, doesn't mean it stays there forever. I mean, it should be able to say, look, nothing happened, nothing bad. I mean, it's not like there's not more abuses or whatever it is we're trying to watch out for. None of that's happening. So let's consider going further. I don't think we went far enough. Having that, I'm not saying it's a great thing to happen, but I'm saying that keeping it in Schedule 1, waiting to make the jump all the way to the bottom, is ill-advised, I think, especially for patients where the Medicaid would not be out of reach for paying for it, even though it's federally subsidized, and all sorts of things like that would make it more actually legitimate, even though it's supposed to be legitimate in the eyes of New Jersey when they do stuff like this. Obviously they don't. So yeah, it was the same as, okay, Homegirl got pulled out in Assembly ultimatum in 2009, didn't really take effect till 2010. And Senator Scutari said something to the effect of wanting to get as many patients off the battlefield, the legal battlefield, as possible, and that we could revisit Homegirl for patients in the near future once the program's up and running. With all that being said, I agreed. I mean, it didn't matter. I didn't get a freaking vote. But in my heart, I agreed that there's a lot of patients not doing it because it was illegal, especially in a more elderly population of patients who could use it, and don't want to break the law. Well, to give them a chance to not break the law, I thought was the right thing to do, as opposed to let's have this fight for another 2 years next year. And then see if we can get over this hump. Because, hey, maybe we couldn't. We're not over it yet, So actually, that might have been the best move for sure back then, as illustrated by the fact that it can't be done now. And, oh, my God, the irony of it being because of Senator Scutari.
Okay, so what's your opinion on Schedule 6?
Oh, I'd love that, right? I mean, I'd like it better than 3.
What?
6. It's a bigger number. It's lower. That's all I know. I'd like it better.
It's a new number.
I like it better because of that. It's like
it's a Fugazi number.
Yeah. Well, it's like at what point there's no number for descheduling the ultimate goal, and it follows a series of steps. I can't help that.
Schedule 6 and 7/8.
You make it the same as tax, 6.25. Same as the state sales tax. 6.25. Or 7.5. Which is it? I forget. It's a multiple of an eighth or something like that. Yeah. Just pot I'm smoking. I would have known this 2 hours ago.
You would have?
Yeah, I was still having a good day. It was edibles and all, but the edibles affect me way more in my mind every time. The smoke is like the carnival part, Sometimes I don't want it.
Why do you think that is?
Say what?
Why do you think that is?
That the smoke, I want to.
What you just said.
Yeah, well, what I just said, at least I hope it had to do with the fact that the actual inhalation disrupts my synapses when I'm trying to get things in line. Then the edibles. The edibles, it just really does it right, but it doesn't have that satisfying, it doesn't. Not for me.
Because it's got to go through your digestive system before it can even do that. And then, the breakdown of that with the enzymes and whatnot that are digestive.
Well, it wouldn't kind
of like.
No, I understand the process, but for my head, at a certain point, taking a toke or two with the edible form starting to really be noticeable. I notice it earlier than some people. I notice it because of my thought patterns, not because of the way I feel. Oh, there it is, and a little smile, and it proves to be true. But the toke just elevates it, and then as that comes down, which is a much more rapid descent than the turtle back graph of and the longevity of it. However, it was at a Patients at a Time conference in 2006. That I saw these graphs and visual helped me understand what I've come to find to be true, and
did it help?
Oh yeah, I mean once I realized I've been doing this for a while, but I have since found the right amount to have where I just get really productive.
You remember we used to do those shotgun hits? Do you remember that?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I remember shotgun. I mean, shotguns. The shotgun hit off a tobacco pipe, and you get a bowl going. And you blow out over the end of that. And the shotgun is now a little pipe. Yeah. And especially if you take it up the nose, like because of the burn and everything. But the elephant is something a lot of people don't know. Now, maybe if you were in Vietnam, and even though I wasn't, I learned about the elephant from my best friend who was at that time.
How come you didn't get drafted?
Draft number. Good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, like my brother. Yeah.
Draft was approved, and also. As far as that went, it was 1970. won, and we were in a really big drawdown.
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
like,
it was
So
hilarious.
it was sort of like, okay, it's, if anything, it was kind of a meat grinder for some fresh troops, while everybody
Lefty's doing
else's
his yoga.
hands were tied behind their backs, and the
Look at
stories.
look at Lefty. He's doing his yoga stretches. Can you do that again?
I put my massager on.
Oh, okay.
What note is that? B flat. Everything's got a pitch.
Yeah.
I like guessing. I would have been wrong on that. I don't deal in flats. Yeah. I could wake up in the morning and tell you what a C note is. I could imitate it perfectly. Depends what songs, because I have the pitch of that song in my head if it's something I sing.
Here's something we never did. Who's your favorite band?
Ooh,
Do we want to use a date?
a favorite band?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, well, of all time, of a period of a.
You can pick that part.
That that almost always I would give it in top fives, because depending on my mood the next day, they're so close.
Okay, who's your top 5?
Honestly, weirdly enough, the ones that make me feel good.
Make you go.
Yeah, okay. U.S. Blues, Grateful Dead from Mars Hotel. It just has that, and not this kind of. It just has a sort of a really good beat. The favorite. Wow, it changes as I think about it. I mean, it really does.
Yeah, it's hard, right?
Yeah, no, it's real hard, but it's also because I like bands for different reasons.
Mhm.
It's hard.
Me too.
Isn't
Yeah.
why I like. It's performances that I have favorite
Okay.
performances.
So
of.
who was your most favorite performance?
Billy Preston, Concert for Bangladesh. That's the Way God Planned It.
Okay.
It's hard to find.
Okay.
But what happened is he got into it. He was chicken dancing. And meanwhile, you got George Harrison, Eric Clapton going while they're playing, just watching it unfold. And it was the most heartfelt, feel-good thing I've ever experienced in music.
Did I ever tell you that Eric Clapton was my boyfriend for a little bit?
Do I look like you might have told me that? You can see my face. Please do.
Yeah.
No teasers. Literally.
For real.
Okay. How do you say that? In what context?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Yeah. Okay.
Big words.
Okay.
We want to know.
I went out with Janis Joplin one time, but you first.
Me first? Oh no.
Oh right, you can see
No.
me. Fuck, hold on. Let me try that again. Really? I did.
He thinks he's
So
funny.
please tell us more. When would that have been?
It was in the 70s.
That's vague. You know more about whether it was 70 or 79. Narrow it down.
Okay, let me see. It was around 1974.
That's the year I saw him in 74 at the Spectrum on December 29th.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the only reason I remember the date was it was with.
He was really nice. He was a really nice guy. He's a really nice guy. He really is.
Yeah.
He took my kids to Great Adventure.
Lefty, you handle this one. You handle this one. He took her kids to Great Adventure.
Were you there with him?
You're freaking host. Do your job.
Were you
Where
with him when
was
you,
I?
Oh, you can't see me now. That's
you all went to Great Adventure together?
No, she took her kids.
No.
He took
Your kids
okay,
away. He
and-
took them away.
What?
And wined and dined them.
am I going to stop microdosing because of this? Come on,
You
help
might.
me out. Help me out.
So I can't get past.
I know
say
you don't. I know
he's-
you don't want to
He
do.
was
it.
he was a very nice
Yeah.
boyfriend for a little bit.
Yeah. Okay.
Wait, he was your boyfriend. So how long did you date for?
Well, she don't have to say here because, like, she can tell me later when it's
I'll
not being
tell Jim
recorded.
later.
I know you'll tell me later. I'm just messing with you right now. I know you're not going to say anything. Come on, I was doing it before,
Okay. So your favorite performance was
Oh yeah.
Billy Preston.
Weirdly enough, right off the top of my
Okay.
head, but there's so many really, really close ones. Simon and Garfunkel, Bridge Over Troubled Water, Central Park. I love that too. That's fucking powerful.
Lefty,
I know.
what about you before you walk away? He's gone. We lost him.
Let me see if I can guess. Now he's a guy that like bit a guitar one time during a performance and ripped some off with his teeth. I wouldn't.
Lefty,
Why?
who was your favorite performance?
Musical performance.
A live performance?
No. Well, yeah. No.
A live musical performance.
Oh,
yes.
yeah, but alive. But you didn't have to attend it. Like that's why I
You had to
didn't
be there.
Yeah.
No, I was there. It was the Butthole Surfers at the Ritz, the old Ritz and the new Ritz. Amazing show. They would show movies. Yeah, they would show movies behind them while they were playing, and one screen would be upside down and one would be normal. And they would show nice pictures of like butterflies and puppies and stuff. And then they'd show like an operation, like a sex change operation. And it was just like, whoa. And if you were on acid or mushrooms, you were just like, what is going on here?
Okay, at the old Ritz, the new Ritz, what was that you said? Where was it?
Yeah, I saw them at the old Ritz and at the new Ritz in New York.
Two different times.
They were both amazing. They were both just, it was just incredible. Incredible.
What was the first concert you went to?
Crosby, Stills, and Nash.
Okay.
Ooh.
Jim?
The first one I went to was Iron Butterfly.
Oh yeah.
And Blood Rock. And Blood Rock played with him.
Wow, that's cool.
Inagata Davida.
Oh yeah. And what I liked about it is 17-year-old guitar player. 69, I was 17 years old. I was watching a guy I should have gone to concerts way before that, but this is on the Parkway, the old art 116 exit 1. And it was really, really good. Inagata Davida, And Blood Rock had a song called DOA, which was their big song. It's like really out there. And then they messed with the crowd by having like red police lights go on at the part in the end where it's like the DOA thing, So when it gets to that part in the song, people were like, "Oh God, red lights! What the fuck?" I remember that. This was before I smoked pot too, though, and I think I was in a minority that day. Nobody offered. Nobody offered me.
You went to that show, and you weren't even getting high yet.
Oh, I was drinking.
That doesn't count. That yuck.
You can
Yuck.
Oh yeah, I was like inebriated, and then the second one, like right after that, almost was a band called Chicago Transit Authority.
I remember them.
Oh yeah,
and they opened for okay, I won't remember. I'm not going to waste time. But what I remember about them is the horns, and I had a gallon of vodka and something. Not to get like way, just And the lawn seats were awesome. And then when they played, I could lean back and feel it through the lawn. It was so vibrant with
Isn't that cool?
all that sound. And then when I sat up and watched Terry Kath play the guitar with those songs, it was like, holy crap, that's the most amazing thing I've ever seen. And then big fan of his singing too. He's probably if not my favorite, right up in my top favorite performers. I mean, in other words, who do you like best as a, that changes, but no, listen to him on Make Me Smile, and it's like listening to Ray Charles at times.
Listen, we have to reschedule Mike for next week.
Okay.
That's no problem. We could do Tuesday if he wants to do Tuesday.
No, I can't do Tuesday. Come on,
Yeah.
you got me on a roll now. So
Yeah, and plus it's like Tuesday is Lefty's Playhouse podcast.
Yeah.
Thursday is
and
wonderfully
sometimes I show up
scheduled.
and sometimes I
Yes.
don't.
Okay.
Yeah. No, but it's also that's more.
Wait, what's next Thursday?
Nothing. We're not in Trenton till the 20-something.
6th.
So
Six.
what do we have? Do we have somebody else for next Thursday?
I think you said you had somebody for next week, but
I did. I told you the other Mike.
You sounded like Tweety Pie. I did.
I did.
No, it was the cadence.
Shut up.
No, it wasn't your
Before I
voice.
come over there and smack you.
It was the cadence. I did. It sounded like reading a Tweety Bird script or something,
The other Mike is next week.
okay.
That's who you're thinking of.
Well, let me thank the Mad Hatter, and we're having an event here Saturday, 1:00, Puff and Paint. You can check out the link on Mad Hatter's website, and I'll have it up on my site today at some point. So come out to the Puff and Paint on Saturday, and Sunday is the first Cannabis Church. Cannabis Church,
Non-denominational.
non-denominational. You could be
What time is that?
Jew, Muslim.
10:30 and 12:30.
Yes.
10:30 and 12:30.
10:30, 12:30. Come out. Any denomination, anyone. You can be a witch. You can be Wiccan. Whatever you want. Whatever you do, come on out. Smoke
Can
some
one
weed.
of you guys text me the address so that I can find my way there? Because I may show up.
Sounds good.
And do you guys want to go to? Do you want to go to Jacob Javits thing this year?
Yes.
Okay, Jim, you want to go? You want to come too?
Nah, what's the transportation on that public transportation?
meet me-
It's got
you
an
meet-
egg. You
You
get
meet
rid
me
of
in Weehawken. You meet me in Weehawken, and we take the ferry across,
Ferry's very nice.
and we just cross the street. That's all.
So thank you, Mad Hatter. Thank you,
maybe. Yeah,
CMMNJ,
All right.
USCW,
I'm gonna answer anyway.
Arlo Glass, OprahMachine.com, and SativaCross.org. It's time to feel like crap, everybody.
No, man.
Because we have a list of friends and family that are here that we read every week. Every week we read this list, twice a week.
Their names get said out loud. They were real. They're not here anymore. They took part. They took part with the best of intentions. Some got results. Some just stayed hurt. But it, it's somehow mentioning their name makes it that much more real. And people got to, it's goddamn life or death for some people. How else can you say it? So make it quick, man. Rip it off.
No, you just said they stayed hurt.
Well, some did.
They stayed hurt.
Yeah, well, Cheryl stayed hurt. She didn't make it through. I mean, she had me caring for her with cannabis, in a world where I couldn't always provide it. So when people say, how did it work for her? The answer comes in the opposite question. What happened when she didn't have it?
Stayed hurt.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's my cross to bear.
No, you'd have never said those two words like that before. It just kind of hit me sideways there a little bit.
Grief has no expiration date. Remember that.
Yep.
I didn't even start the list yet. I feel like shit. Wow. Good
All
job.
right. Can we go home?
Good job. Let's go right to the.
Yeah, can we go home?
Fuck, I am home.
Oh my!
Man, come on with this thing here. Oh, yeah. This is rough.
We're
This is
such
rough.
good co-hosts.
Oh, yeah. Well, we know who the list begins with. It's with Cheryl, and she had a profound effect on many people. Sabina, Diane, Gracie, Cindy, Marie, Jack, Joan, Randy, Polly, Bill, Chad, Jeremy, Colette, Matt, Troy, Russ, Roger, Jay, Ella, Hattie, Jackie, Anthony, Jake, Armando, Felicia, Lynn, Dan, Sean, Joyce, Lori, Frank, Brian, Flo, Carl, Thorne, Frank, Lorraine, Terry, Charlotte, Cher, Jaybird, Michael, Marley, Colette, Brendan, Red, Rico, Lou, Becky, Lawanda, Chip, Paul, Lisa, Marcus, Gary, Julia, and the mighty Jeff Oakes.
They were real.
Now that's a list. That's a list we can all agree upon. It sucks.
And it gets longer. And it'll be longer next week, the week after, sooner or later.
And nobody on this list is being protested. Unlike other lists where I've seen, we're protesting cannabis influencer number 7. We have to protest that. Cannabis influencer number 7. Why are we protesting cannabis influencer number 7? Why?
Well, you know, Hitler was number 1 on Times. And I'm just saying, and influential doesn't mean in a good way.
Yeah,
You know, I mean,
Oh.
you know, I'm sure Nero was man of the year while he fiddled while Rome burned. I mean, it is what it is. But I did write back to the list makers. I stated my case, and I didn't even read the return email.
You're not on that list? Bongholio is not on that list.
No, I don't belong on the list. I explained that. I don't belong there. I'm a specialist. My specialty got absolutely no
what about
traction.
Bongholio? What about Bongholio? He deserves to be on that list.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Sure he does. I don't. I would. I'm glad. I actually looked through it, and as it got down, the number got bigger, and I didn't see my name. I'm like, they got it right. Come on. Yeah, I'm good with that. And, I got to say, their names on there that did belong there. I'm not going to be specific, However, I feel what you're saying, but how can I say it? Man, I really, it would have been worse. I don't need that. I dangle credit for when I get help for something, when I need it. It's sort of like come whatever I might need in the beginning of July. Not you, but there are people, if, they could help in some way, I'll make that well known when the story is written the next day, how'd it go. I wish people understood how much credit they would get by just dropping everything and making this important in the worst way. Not everybody. When somebody says if everybody, I stop listening. Any sentence that ever started with if everybody, the end is going to be whatever they say will not happen because everybody never will.
Everybody, that's a lot.
We had that problem one time being out. Where it wasn't it? There's a big.
Jim, I gotta go.
You gotta go. Go.
It's time. We'll see you on Saturday at 1:00. Come out, and Sunday at church.
10:30.
They went with songs to the battle. They were young, straight of limb, true of eye, steady and aglow. They were staunch to the end against odds uncounted. They fell
with
their faces to the foe. They shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun and in the morning, we will remember them. Peace out, everybody.
Peace out.
Okay, exit full screen.